to another episode of Business and Bubble Tea. Here on the podcast today, we have with us Dr. Joalin Lim, the founder and group CEO of Agape Life. Joalin, it's fantastic to have you with us today.
Oh, likewise. Thank you, William, for the introduction.
Welcome, Joalin. And let's start with the name of the company. What's behind the choice of Agape Life as the name? It sounds Greek. What's the reason behind this?
Yes, I started this company 7 years ago, to be exact, in 2016. Agape Life, agape is a Greek word. It means God's love. So God's love life, human life, and we exist to be able to help the patient by bringing the effective medical solutions for all the healthcare practitioners to be able to treat their patient effectively.
And going back to the beginning of Agape Life, how did it start? So you're the founder. What got the idea going? What was the problem you identified? And how did this big journey begin?
Yes, I was trained and educated in United States of America, though I am born in Singapore. And before I came back to Singapore, I was always working for multinational company, has been in the medtech industry for more than 25 years. And in the last few years, I returned back to Singapore. I started the company in order to serve all the medical technology and healthcare company of United States, Europe regions, as well as Middle East regions, who are the SME or MMC manufacturers would like to launch their medical and healthcare product into the Asia market, to reaching out to the 18 countries in the Asia and its patient population. So I started it because of the accumulated experiences and knowledge from United States and well-trained, understanding all the regulation, all the R&D process, all the clinical studies experiences. So I brought back all the accumulated experiences and knowledge to contribute to the Asia Pacific healthcare arena.
And the slogan is the right place, the right people, and the right time. Can you tell us more about it?
Yes. Yes, as you know, in Asia Pacific, there are many, many countries. Example, the top 18 countries that we are dealing with are heavily trading in medical technology and healthcare products. And with these 18 countries, there's no harmonization of regulatory compliance regulation. Everybody is individual, and it becomes very convoluted. It's individual countries with its own business etiquettes, with its own business languages, and the regulatory environment. It becomes very confusing. So for us, that we are able to put together a team of people to reach out to the 18 countries of understanding each local compliance, regulatory compliance, and understand how to market access into that particular country is a great gain to our customers, because all they have to do is the one-stop shop in Singapore, and we are able to link them all up to working with the right plan in mind and putting together the right group of people, and yet be able to reach out to 18 countries of market access and distributorship or even customer directly. So to them, it saves a lot of time to go to every country looking for a consulting company to help them, and to save a lot of costs, because we are not so much higher than what they will be able to find in the market. Our cost is about 20%, at least 20% lower than all the international CRO or consulting company.
And what are the key challenges that these companies face coming from the US, let's say, to Singapore, wanting to serve markets in Asia? And what are the risks they come to you with that they're concerned with?
Oh, yes. A lot of time they are very concerned about the timing, because if they are a very one-of-a-kind, unique brand in the United States, and they want to bring their product into the Asia, so many countries, so many languages, and so many regulatory environment, which country should you go first? So for us, we are able to provide a very solid market access research data or project for them, so that they have the key market intelligence information to make the wise decisions of all the country that they select on, a lot of time is very much tying into their marketing initiative and their business goals, how they're going to bring the product into it. But timing itself, time versus compliance is really very key, because every country have its own regulatory pathway that you have to overcome, and it requires certain time. So not everyone are going to do the regulatory submission all at once. They're going to be sequentially one after the other. Or if you're lucky, you want to park yourself into ASEAN. So ASEAN have some so-called the harmonization regulation. However, it's still very much sequential. So there's timing that is going to involve that they have to be very much concerned. The other thing that they should be concerned with is the epidemiology data. Say your product, is there a demand in the particular country that it already based on how much patients is within your treatment labeling target audience. So if they are not there for you, so you're bringing a product without a lot of customers in that country, then you might slow down your own business initiative. So time in regulation submission, regulatory environment versus the patient population, which is your target audience or your so-called your buyer. There's no demand, there's no need to offer supply. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering, because I guess typically from I guess conventionally, I guess, and I'm from the UK, right? So a lot of medical technology or sort of early stage pharma will look towards the US as the next phase of growth and opportunity. So I was wondering, what is the key opportunity that Access via Singapore brings to these companies?
Yeah. So in Singapore, we do have very good regulatory authority. It's called Health Science Authority, equivalent to the US FDA. So for UK company, if it is in biopharma, yes, I do not doubt your introducing of United States is one of the biggest so-called market in the world, and US will still remain the number one market. But you do not want to deny the ASEAN, Asia Pac, Asia Pacific, 18 countries, a lot of growing developing country. And in fact, in the world, 60%, at least 60% of the world population of about 8 billion people, according to the Worldometer of COVID, residing in Asia, physically resides in Asia Pacific. And within ASEAN itself, the 10 country, we have a lot of growing developing countries that are willing to spend, and they make up of very young people within the age of 30 to 45 years old. They are very high willing to spend in terms of healthcare, taking care of themselves or taking care of their family. So it make up that for a UK or US biopharma company, maybe Asia might be a good stand for them to come first. And Singapore Healthcare Authority have a lot of regulation that is advancing in themselves to be able to regulate and monitor properly, so that can sustain their high standards as in US FDA. So there are some advantages. Again, this is very general feedbacks, because it's going to highly depend on what type of product your manufacturer has, and within that product, is there a big epidemiology patients needs in Asia Pacific. Yeah.
And looking at the future, which trends do you see in the Asian market? Maybe if you see also differences in future trends here compared to maybe Europe or the US.
Oh, for Asia, I would say that a lot of people are going to shift from used to be very much dominated by the healthcare practitioner, medical doctors is equivalent to so-called God. They make all the final decisions or suggestions for the patients. But now we are very much shifting from the doctor's opinion to the patient itself. So patient is going to be very much patient-centric. At the end is very much like patients going to take full care and responsibility of his own health. So very much in the trend in Asia Pacific right now, a lot of aging populations is happening. So a lot of people are
Yep.
focusing on elderly cares and also patient-centric cares. Say, how are you going to have preventive medicine? So I will very much say that the trend right now is very much elderly care and preventive medicine. If you could help to make the population healthier by increasing quality of life, that would be the best product you can bring into Asia.
Would you say those trends are, I guess, mainly found within the customers that you're seeing approaching you, saying we want access to this amazing market in Asia? We definitely think we can cater to this audience. And I guess what specifically is it? Patient monitoring solutions? Is it a kind of hybrid form of healthcare that's being provisioned? What are you seeing from your side?
Yes, I think everybody's talking about Chat GPT 4.0. Everybody like to be in the space of artificial intelligence. And I keep seeing a lot of artificial intelligence related some kind of wearable products or any monitoring products and go through your mobile
Yeah.
phone. Something like that, and also artificial intelligence with big data into the healthcare system. So COVID have accelerated a lot of this type of moving from paper into fully in the cloud space, digital space. Whether it's diagnosis, whether it's preventive, whether it's monitoring, except treatment. Even some treatment are trying to use the digital space to provide a solution. So I think everybody is very much into the space of digitization. Yeah.
And considering this aspect, what about the cybersecurity and data protection in Asia? How is the regulation?
Yes.
What do you see in this?
A lot of people, yeah, I know I keep seeing the trend of big technology company is very much they are venturing into healthcare, such as I think everybody know Amazon. We see a lot of
Yeah.
Amazon entering into healthcare. We even see Microsoft entering healthcare. We a lot of big company
Apple,
technology. Yeah, Apple have been
Yeah.
in healthcare for a while, but they don't seem to be able to find their space very well. So now, after COVID, I think it will give them a great opportunity to position themselves well in terms of helping the healthcare industry. Although healthcare industry people are also quite concerned about cybersecurity. So cybersecurity is a big topic right now in Asia Pacific because we can do a lot of things over the cloud until with someone figuring how to make our patient data secure. And cybersecurity is a very key thing that not even healthcare company, but even non-healthcare company have to be very concerned about, because that is one of the key attributes that everybody would like to figure out the right solution for its company. Yeah, cybersecurity in healthcare is a big topic of discussion, and our company is going to very much introduce a very good conference coming up in the fourth quarter of this year on cybersecurity in healthcare.
Amazing. Very much looking
Oh
forward
yes,
to it.
we will
And
definitely invite
I
you
have
to
another
be.
question.
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely. Very keen. And I have I have another question that relates, I guess, more to the attributes that make for so you touched on a really interesting point there, that's the bigger players are still trying to find their footing in the kind of med tech space in
Yeah.
a way. And I'm wondering, from your perspective, what are the key attributes to success with medical technology in Asia? Is it really founder dependent? Is it the technology that's dependent? Is it the regulatory approval? I know you all need bits of both, but what do you see as the kind of key
Uh,
markers for a successful business
in
in Asia?
Asia, well, of course, when you are talking about
Yeah.
healthcare, you have to be a solution to meet a need. And the needs have to come from the patients who are using it. So you have to have a very good founder and CEO with visionary to know how to come up with a solution to meet the needs of their patients of a particular group of what they are trying to solve. And yet this technology is going to be a big thing 10 years down the road.
Amazing.
What do you think
Yeah,
has been?
that is the challenging is what people is trying to crank up because venture capital and all those investment is very hot topic in the whole Asia as well, and they're investing a lot of companies. To tell you the truth, a lot of time when you invest in something, you invest for a vision, right? And so now might not make a lot of
Yeah.
sense to you, but 10 years down the road, you have to be the one of the biggest company. And that's become a challenge for the investor to pick the right company to put their money. Yeah.
Sure.
Very much so. I mean, we've seen, I guess, a range of different business sort of propositions in the medtech space that relate to things like patient monitoring solutions, and you mentioned the wearable devices, things like sleep apnea, and sort of trying to pick up on these things that have comorbidities with like cardiovascular problems, which are in a sense another patient remote monitoring component, right?
Yes.
So it's super interesting in how it's developing, and then I guess how it's complicated dealing with the Asian market as you mentioned.
Yeah.
What do you think makes it such a challenge? Is it how it's the regulatory kind of process is fractured?
Yes.
Or
I think there are a couple of components. When it comes to Asia, you have to concern the regulatory pathway, because as I said, the top. So Asia Pacific are made up with more than 20 countries, but we are only focusing on the top 18 who are actively in trading in healthcare products. So one of the key attributes that you have to figure out really is the regulatory pathway. Besides, you also need to figure out whether there's a demand for your type of products. Of course, these two things have to be side by side. And then the third component, less important, is the reimbursement part. There are some country has social reimbursement and some don't. You need to figure out of that. And the fourth point really is your product is going to carry your brand. And when it comes to branding part, are you willing to take a risk? Because certain country in Asia, you need to have your big IP protection very well set up so that there aren't many of copy and paste businesses going around your back. So these are the things you really need to really be concerned or maybe plan ahead and do a research. Yeah. So we are able to help you to do that.